Okay, here's my geometry and measurement for elementary teachers learning log for the second half of the semester. Again, I have a cover sheet with the directions inside, and I have finished out the table of contents. And then to where we left off with types of measurement, U.S. standard and metric. We have non-standard units, standard units, and starting with a length. And then I put the non-standard activity in the learning log. We go over our U.S. standard measurements, benchmarks, dimensional analysis, and here's the activity for converting measurements glued into the learning log. The metric system, benchmark for meters, and converting using the staircase method. Capacity and weight, and here's a measurement worksheet. And then temperature with some examples, and just a little foldable with the formulas for converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius and Celsius to Fahrenheit. And then time and money, and I glued in the elapsed time ruler. Then on to Chapter 8, types of measurements with similarity, with the notes. The angle-angle similarity for triangles, and using in the real world. And then on to Chapter 9, types of measurement, triangles, Pythagorean theorem, perimeter and circumference. We have triangle inequality and congruent objects definition. And then all of the congruence properties. And the right triangle property, the Pythagorean theorem. Illustrated here as an activity using Skittles. And then here we have perimeter and circumference with the formulas in a foldable. And the definitions of each. Circumference, and then a worksheet in which we use to find relationship between circumference and diameter. Moving on to Chapter 10 is area. Here I did a foldable with area formulas for each shape, and here are the notes explaining and illustrating the formulas. Parallelogram, triangle, trapezoid, the kite, and the circle, of which I could not get the circle on the handout to print on my printer, and so I just drew it in. And then geoboard areas with the worksheet that we completed to find the relationship between the interior points and boundary points when looking for areas, and the takeaway technique, and then Pick's theorem. Here we have chapter 11, area, constant area, and constant perimeter, with a few illustrations, model, and then the tables. To find constant area, notes, and constant perimeter with the tables and notes. The similarity effects on perimeter and area. And then with the popcorn similarity activity glued into the learning log. And then here is area. This similarity effects on perimeter and area. So this is similarity on perimeter, and then similarity on area. Then moving on to chapter 12, surface area and volume, and here I've just made a foldable with the surface area equations for each shape. And then prisms defined and illustrated. Pyramid defined and illustrated. Cylinders. Cones. And spheres. And onto volume, where again I've done a foldable for the volume formulas. And defined and illustrated is starting with the prism, the cylinder, cone, and sphere. Show the pyramid. Pyramid, cylinder, and pyramid. Okay. And then moving on to chapter 13 with building views and illustrations, definitions. And that's the end of the semester's learning log.